You know the drill. He pulls away, disappears, goes cold, and just when you start healing, he's back in your inbox like nothing ever happened. Hey, I've been thinking about you. Miss your energy. Or the absolute classic, sorry I've been distant. Life's been crazy. And suddenly you're spinning again. Did he finally realize what he lost? Is this the closure I needed? Should I give him one more chance? Hold up. Before you crack that door open, I need you to hear something. Emotionally unavailable men don't come back because they've changed. They come back because they like the way you made them feel, and they want another hit. This video? We're not just ranting. We're dissecting. We're decoding. We're pulling the emotional rug out from under this "he came back" fantasy and finally seeing it for what it is: a loop, a cycle, a trap. Watch till the end, because once you understand what's really going on here, you'll never be tempted to reopen the door again. Chapter number 1. The Disappearing Act Pattern. Let's start with the trickiest part. He didn't say goodbye. He didn't slam the door. He just slowly faded. Fewer texts, slower replies, no more good mornings. Suddenly, the man who couldn't stop talking to you 2 weeks ago is now busy 24/7. And you? You start overanalyzing. Did I say too much? Should I have waited longer to reply? Maybe he's just stressed. Spoiler, no. He's not pulling away because you did something wrong. He's pulling away because he's hitting his limit for intimacy. See, emotionally unavailable men have a pattern. They show up fast. Intense eye contact, deep convos, strong attraction. They flood you with attention and call it connection. And the moment things start to feel real, the moment your presence starts to matter, they freak out. Because real connection is the emotional risk, and emotional risk is vulnerability, which they don't do. So they disappear to avoid feeling exposed. They ghost not to punish you, but to protect themselves from their own feelings. It's not logical, it's not noble, it's just survival mode behavior dressed up as he just needed space. And the worst part? They usually return. Not because they processed anything, but because the silence no longer comforts them, it hurts them. More on that in a minute. Chapter number 2. Why silence doesn't mean he's done. When he disappears, it feels like rejection. But to him, it's relief. For the emotionally unavailable man, silence is his safe space. It's where he can reassert control, reduce internal chaos, and avoid the messiness of real emotional connection. But here's what no one tells you. He's not done with you. He's done with the version of you that asked for more. Let that sink in. When you started getting closer, asking for clarity, showing your emotions, you became real. And real women with real needs trigger the emotional, unavailable man's worst fear: accountability. So he withdraws. But here's the kicker. Once the panic subsides, once the loneliness creeps in, once your calm silence replaces the noise of pursuit, he starts to miss how good he felt around you. He doesn't miss you. He misses the feeling of being liked by you. There's a massive difference. He comes back to soothe himself, not to build with you. His silence isn't a decision, it's a pause button. He's hoping that when he presses play again, you'll still be there, smiling, forgiving, ready. That's not connection, that's emotional loitering. So when he returns, don't see it as a compliment. See it as what it really is: a man walking back into a warm room because he forgot what cold feels like. Chapter number 3. The Return and Why He Reappears. Let's get one thing clear. He didn't come back because he had a spiritual awakening. He came back because the silence started to feel uncomfortable. In the beginning, he disappears because it feels safer. But when you don't chase, when you don't double text, when you don't remind him you exist, now he's uncomfortable. Not because he misses you, but because he misses being the center of your emotional universe. Here's how it works. He disappears. You panic. You reach out, and he feels powerful again. But when that cycle breaks, when you don't reach out, now he has to deal with the consequences of his own withdrawal, and emotionally unavailable men hate sitting in the discomfort they caused. So what does he do? He sends out a feeler, a casual, "How have you been?" A nostalgic, "Remember that one night we stayed up till 3 a.m.? Or the master manipulator's favorite, "I've been thinking about you." He's not thinking about you. He's thinking about how you made him feel. Safe, validated, desired, worshipped. And that, my love, is addicting. He's not back because he's healed. He's back because he's hungry. Chapter number 4. Why you keep hoping it's different this time. Let's talk about the part no one wants to admit. Sometimes when he comes back, you want to believe him. You know he disappeared. You remember how confused you felt. But the second he reappears with that soft voice and vague apology, something in you whispers, maybe he just needed time. Maybe this is the version of him I always knew was in there. That maybe is the most dangerous word in the emotionally unavailable cycle, because maybe is what keeps you in hope mode, replaying old moments, rereading his texts, overanalyzing his tone, and calling it intuition. But here's the real deal. Your nervous system isn't reading signs, it's reacting to relief. When he comes back, it soothes your anxiety. And that moment of relief feels like love. But it's not love. It's chemistry. It's dopamine. It's your attachment system being tricked into believing the danger is over. So what do? You open the door. Just a little. And he walks right back in. Not because he deserves it, but because the hope you built was louder than the history you lived. Chapter number 5. The fantasy loop, and how he uses it. Let's get brutally honest for a second. Emotionally unavailable men rarely lie outright. They do something much more seductive. They let you create the fantasy for them. He says just enough to keep your imagination working overtime. "I don't want to hurt you. I'm just trying to figure myself out. You deserve more than I can give right now." And you, being the emotionally intelligent goddess you are, hear those words and think, wow, he's self-aware. Maybe he just needs space to grow. If I'm patient, he'll come back better. Spoiler, he's not planning a transformation. He's playing a part in the script you wrote for him. Because here's the secret sauce. He knows you're filling in the blanks. He knows you want to believe there's a deeper, softer, healed version of him, and he lets you build it in your mind, so he doesn't have to do it in real life. And every time he disappears and returns, he resets the fantasy. He reminds you of how good it could be, without ever showing you how good it really is. That's not love, that's emotional illusionism. He's not your soulmate, he's your projection. And when he says, "I miss you," he's actually saying, "I miss how much you believed in me." Chapter number 6. The difference between guilt and growth. So he's back. And this time, he says all the right things. "I've been doing a lot of thinking. I know I messed up. I don't want to lose you again." Cue the hopeful music, right? Wrong. Let's get into something crucial. Guilt is not growth. Guilt is reactive. It's emotion-based. It says, "I feel bad about what I did." Growth is proactive. It's behavior-based. It says, "I've done the work to become different." An emotionally unavailable man might feel genuine regret, but that doesn't mean he's ready to love you right. In fact, most of them don't come back to rebuild the relationship. They come back to relieve their own guilt. They want forgiveness, not responsibility. And here's the most dangerous part. If you forgive too quickly, he'll confuse that with permission to stay the same. He'll take your softness as proof that nothing really broke. So why change? So the next time you hear him say, "I've changed," ask yourself, has he taken accountability without prompting? Has his behavior shifted consistently? Is he interested in repairing or just reconnecting? Growth is slow, uncomfortable, and rarely poetic. If it sounds too smooth, too easy, too emotional, it's probably guilt dressed in your favorite language. Real story. The night he came back, and she didn't fall for it. They hadn't spoken in months. The last time she saw him, he'd pulled away after a weekend that felt like a movie. She cried in silence while he needed space. No fight, no closure, just vanishing. He left her with question marks where promises used to be. She lost sleep, lost weight, lost herself a little. But somehow, slowly, she started putting herself back together. New routines, new boundaries, new level of self-respect. Then, one night, there he was, texting like nothing happened. "I've been thinking about you. I miss the way you made me feel." Not, "I'm sorry for disappearing." Not, "Here's what I've worked on." Not, "I'm ready to do better." Just the emotional equivalent of a knock on the door at midnight. And for a second, her heart fluttered. That muscle memory of connection, of hope, of maybe this time. It kicked in. But then she paused. She remembered the tears he didn't stay to witness, the confusion he left behind, the healing she had to do alone. So instead of replying, she turned off her phone, poured a glass of wine, and played her favorite album. And in that moment, she did something radical. Nothing. No explanation, no response, no relapsing into the fantasy. And guess what? He didn't double text, didn't call, didn't fight for her, because he wasn't looking for love, he was looking for access. And for the first time, she didn't give it. The test: how he handles your boundaries. Here's the moment of truth. He's back. He sends a message, maybe even a voice note. He's testing the waters. And you, finally, say something different. You don't melt. You don't ask when you'll see him. You don't pretend nothing happened. You set a boundary, even a soft one. Something like, "I'm not comfortable reconnecting unless we have a real conversation," or "I'm in a different place now, and I'm not interested in going backwards." And just like that, the mask slips. Suddenly, he's defensive, or he ghosts again. Or he sends a passive-aggressive, "Wow, I didn't expect that from you." Because here's what you just did. You removed the script. You stopped playing your part in his emotional loop. He didn't come back for accountability. He came back for access, ease, admiration. So when you speak from clarity instead of craving, he doesn't know what to do with you anymore. And here's the bitter truth. If your boundary makes him vanish again, you didn't lose him, you just interrupted the cycle. And that's not rejection, that's release. Important insight: the hidden cost of reopening the door. Let's say you do open the door. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe you want closure. Maybe you're just lonely. He's charming, calmer. He even says some of the right things. And for a minute you think, maybe this time. But a few days later, you're back in familiar territory, waiting, guessing, overanalyzing. Because emotionally unavailable men don't build with you. They orbit you. They move in circles around your heart. Never too close, never too far. Just enough to keep you hooked. And every time you let them back in, you pay a quiet price. Time you can't get back. Emotional energy spent managing his inconsistency. A nervous system that never fully relaxes. Worst of all, you start questioning your own growth. You ask yourself, was I overreacting before? Maybe I am asking for too much. Why do I always push people away? You're not pushing anyone away, you're just finally holding a standard. And he doesn't meet it. But because you're a good person, a loyal, deep-feeling woman, you keep giving him another shot at a role he never rehearsed for. And while he improvises affection, you pay the price. The real cost isn't the drama, it's the delay. Every time you reopen the door, you postpone your own peace. Mini guide: what to do when he comes back. He's back. Your phone lights up with that name. Maybe it's a "Hey stranger." Maybe it's "Been thinking about you." Maybe it's just "Hello." Your heart skips. Your brain spins. But pause. Take a breath. You don't have to go back just because he remembered how warm your light was. Here's your 4-step survival kit. Step 1. Regulate before you react. Don't text back immediately. Don't reread old messages. Don't let your nervous system convince you this is fate. Instead, do this. Put your phone down. Breathe. Say out loud, "This is a test, not a sign." You are not obligated to respond. Silence is a decision, not a weakness. Step 2. Name the pattern, not the person. Romanticizing is a trap. This isn't proof he's changed. This is proof he knows you were a soft place to land. Ask yourself, has he ever shown up consistently? Did he take ownership for disappearing? Has anything actually changed, besides his mood? If not, then this is a repeat request, not a new chapter. Step 3. Respond only if you want closure. You owe him nothing, not even a reply. But if you choose to respond, let it come from clarity, not craving. Sample responses. "Thanks for reaching out. I've moved on and wish you well. This door is closed now. I'm no longer available for this dynamic." Keep it clean, no explanations, no softness where he gave you silence. Step 4. Remember who you became without him. This isn't about him anymore. This is about you, your growth, your peace. He's not coming back because he's transformed. He's coming back because he misses how you made him feel. But you've changed. You've healed. You're no longer available to be someone's emotional reset button. You don't chase what already showed you it can live without you. Final mantra. I don't go back to men who had access to me and still chose confusion. Say it, believe it, live it. Emotionally unavailable men come back, not because they've changed, but because they miss how you made them feel. They don't want to grow. They want comfort. They want the access they once had. But here's the truth. If he was serious, he wouldn't have disappeared. And if he comes back to a closed door, let it stay closed. Your peace is more valuable than recycled potential. You don't owe anyone another chance to confuse you. Has he come back before? Did you ever reopen the door? Or close it for good? Tell us your story in the comments. Let's call the cycle by its name. And before you go, let me leave you with this. You are not hard to love. You are just done settling for half effort, half answers, and half-grown men. The right love won't confuse you. It won't disappear when you need it most. It won't feel like a guessing game. So don't waste your softness trying to prove your worth to someone who only shows up when it's convenient. You're not here to audition. You're here to be met, fully, deeply, intentionally. And until that happens, protect your heart like it's sacred, because it is.